The major explosive volcanic eruption which occurred in Ethiopia on November 23rd left behind a brand new, more than 1,300 foot wide crater in the ground. Truly massive. This explosion crater destroyed almost the entirety of its summit cinder cone, and that is not all. Two other large explosion craters also formed in the eruption, all measuring more than 500 feet wide. Yet, if we zoom out, something a bit more potentially concerning becomes apparent. Surrounding two of these craters, a series of large ring-shaped cracks formed, interconnecting to form a loop of sorts. This suggests that a 1,300-meter long and 1,050-meter wide section of its summit subsided by an unknown amount, almost like a mini caldera collapse during the eruption. I personally suspect that a magnitude 4.8 earthquake that occurred during the eruption was a CLVD-type quake, in other words, one with pure subsidence. With that in mind, the mere existence of these cracks around much of the Sub-Plinian eruption site suggests that the subsidence could theoretically continue if Hayli Gubbi's eruption were to resume again, risking in an unlikely, very worst-case scenario an actual caldera-forming eruption. However, these could also be merely harmless expansion cracks or representative of an upward migrating pit crater if the largest explosions of the eruption started below ground with a potentially upward migrating cavity. Thus, the same area could even continue to subside if the aforementioned eruption truly has ended and not just paused, give way to a collapse that forms a pit crater, or the minor subsidence could have already completed, which for now I am estimating to be likely under 10 meters, perhaps 20 meters at most. And this is part of a larger problem. Hayli Gubbi in particular, along with most if not all volcanoes in the Danakil Depression, are seemingly either completely unmonitored with ground scientific equipment or monitored by so few sensors that we can't get an accurate picture of what is ongoing at the volcanoes and any magma bodies or dikes underground. Earthquakes located here can be incorrectly marked as much as 30 kilometers or 18 miles from their actual epicenter, further illustrating my point. It seems that the closest seismometer is more than 200 kilometers away in the separate nation of Djibouti. In other words, there are just so many unknowns due to the relative lack of nearby scientific equipment that we may not theoretically know if Hayli Gubbi could suddenly resume its eruption until it actually happens. But why am I saying this? Well, right now I have heard that several groups of locals and tourists are venturing to the eruption site. In my opinion, this is a terrible idea for a number of reasons, let alone the secondary explosions that can theoretically occur in just the pyroclastic flow deposits. While yes, current satellite data does not seemingly suggest another imminent explosive phase is coming, these same satellites also didn't show any standout readings indicating an eruption was about to happen on November 23rd. My point is, I don't like how little data we have to go off of, and with so many unknowns, I do not want the potential for any number of people to be caught in a hypothetical subsequent blast. After all, refined geolocation attempts of the pyroclastic flows on November 23rd seemingly indicates that they covered 15.82 square kilometers, reaching up to 6.22 kilometers or 3.86 miles away. Many short-lived Plinian or Sub-Plinian eruptions often but not always occur with multiple phases separated by periods of lesser or no surface activity, such as at El Chichon in 1982, Ruane in 2024, and Luatobi during 2024 to 2025. However, this is all my opinion, as I too do not have much information to go off of and could be very wrong. With that being said, in-person reports really do seem to indicate that the Hayli Gubbi volcano is not actively erupting at the present and hasn't been erupting since around 4 p.m. local time in Ethiopia on November 23rd. Potentially reinforcing my point that something may still be occurring underground in the vicinity, sometime on November 25th, a 720-meter long and 410-meter wide area 11 kilometers to the north-northwest of Hayli Gubbi's recent eruption site unexpectedly subsided, this time at the Erta Ale volcano, which, I want to remind everyone, seemingly fed Hayli Gubbi a magma dike in July 2025 that eventually triggered its November eruption. So, is magma once again draining away to Hayli Gubbi? Is this just an upward migrating pit crater from the July magma intrusion? We don't know yet. Stay tuned for more updates. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube for supporting my work.